Anyways, on to Marquez. This one is a skunk, if you couldn't tell. Hey everyone, Law Productions here, and today we're covering a game that, well, it popped up in my feed a little while ago, not too long ago, and I was like, okay, may as well give it a shot, because it's currently, as you can see, an alpha test. And, well, it's definitely an alpha. It definitely needs some improvements, but I'm basically going to, in this video, kind of go over everything, because I know not everyone's going to get into the alpha, even though, if I'm not mistaken, it said like 30,000 people have access to it, even though it was intended, like, at the beginning to only have a 100 player alpha test, which is kind of incredible. For those that have not tried the game, or maybe are outside of the test range, or just in the future, I'm not really sure where this game is going. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right area, but I haven't been able to find much in terms of like a roadmap. But either way, what is this game? What is Wild Assault? So this is the store page. Okay, this is what you're greeted with. This is their first, or this is them giving you your first impression on the game and what you should expect. Now, this is the first trailer. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But this is like, the second one is like basically the premise of the game, kind of like the lore side of it.
Since 1993.
Okay, you hear that? That is AI. There's no way that's not AI. This character is the narrator, or I guess not really narrator, but it's like the person that you hear narrate the actions that are going on in the game when you're playing the game. So like they're capturing this object or whatever. You hear this voice. It's not great. And every time it says Bravo, it says Brevo, and it's getting on my nerves.
We've lost objective Bravo.
Okay. This is my first impression of the game, and this will be your first impression as well.
Three rooms. Assault Norman.
Okay, so, when I saw this, it was like, it's not a great first trailer. It's, again, there's AI again. Google Translate tells me that this is Chinese, and this said the first furry shooter game. And then, okay.
Sensational. That's the word you're looking for.
So let's talk about the gameplay. There's only one map. There's only one game mode, and that's, that's fine. It's a very, very limited, well, in a sense, limited alpha test. The idea is it is a 20v20 player versus player checkpoint hold game mode, and then you have your heroes, or you could say just different characters for different play styles. Each character has these different, your ultimate, tactical, and property. There's some weird translation things I think are not supposed to, like, I don't get why it says property. I think it's supposed to be a different word, but that's something that they can change really easily. So they all have their unique abilities, and they all have their unique play styles, and they also have these like passive abilities, you could say. You get a short description, you can inspect the character because some of you guys are weird like that, and then you've got your primary and secondary. Now here's the first problem, which this is going to be really easy to fix, but the secondary for all of them is the exact same, which makes it not great for some characters that could really benefit from a different secondary. For example, Norman is like the normal character. We'll get back to him. We'll get back to him in his NK-47. But it's like we've got, where is he? The long range character here. Still using the same secondary. And then we've also got, your shotgun, automatic shotgun character here. Still the same secondary, and you've got a fully automatic close range with the same secondary. You really start to notice it because the secondary is not good. It's really bad. Like, it's a pea shooter gun, and it's not a secondary, it's more of a last resort or second resort gun, and I just find myself never using it. And I've also only ran out of ammo completely in this game a single time. One singular time. Believe it or not, there is actually a rearming mechanic in this game, but all of this, we're going to get to my first point. So I'm going to get off this little weird tangent. We're going to go to my first point, which is the game is fast. Like, it's really fast paced, and it could use some tweaking to adjust this. So as I said, there's a secondary, right? And there is a rearming mechanic, and there's even this healing character. But you can play the game without actually getting healed by this character, and you can play the game without rearming, and you can even revive in the game. But if you do none of those, I don't notice a difference. The length of the game itself, like from just the outside, it is not a fast game. Like, it's not going to be over in 5 minutes or something like that. But it feels really fast because you're repeatedly dying or killing people or traveling really fast across a smallish map. So either way, speed of the game aside, let's talk about each of the individual classes, because I kind of touched on them. We're going to really dive into them now. So first we're going to start with Norman. Norman. What I get from this character is he's supposed to be that normal class that anyone can play and just kind of pick up the game and try it out without having to really try or think about what you're playing or how you're playing it. And it's just kind of basic, kind of like the recruit in Rainbow Six. Is just nothing really special, but it's still just good enough to play anytime. So you got your NK-47, your basic rifle, and you got a basic pistol. I won't touch on the pistol because, again, it's the same throughout them all. The main problem I have with this character is the rifle, because the recoil, it needs to be fixed. The recoil in this game, you can get used to it, but it's a little bit off-putting at first, because when you shoot, it will move your camera upwards, right? There will be recoil, but then it'll always return to the center. So you can single tap, but instead of just being based off of how fast you can pull down your mouse a little bit and shoot again, it's just how fast the screen will move down on itself. And it's kind of close range to medium-ish range. The recoil is insane. Like I said, you have to really pull down for this thing to stay on your enemy, and even then, it gets out of focus really fast. The ultimate skill can work, as I was able to do, but it's really situational. You have to make sure that the people are close enough to you. The melee is really powerful, but again, you have to make sure that you're able to hit them before they can kill you. The tactical, the intimidation, it's extremely close range, and I haven't been able to make it work, at least from what I've been able to tell. I've had it been used on me like twice now, I think, but it's really close range, and it's not as great as just being able to kill them first. This breakthrough potential thing, it works. It's pretty good. I think this is the best. Honestly, I think this is the most useful and best skill out of both of these. At least it's the one that I can use the most. But overall, he needs some tweaking to be a very average and just friendly character to play. So now let's talk about Ryan. So this character makes me the most uncomfortable out of them all. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the very strange proportions and the blonde hair. Let's see. Let's do play the most uncomfortable looking character. Why is he purple? Hang on. Hold the fucking phone. I swear to God, this man is not purple in the main menu. But the idea is that this is kind of like a tank character. You got more maximum health, but you have less movement speed. They can do the sprint for longer, but not as fast. You've got a shotgun that's obviously very short range. It is a semi-automatic shotgun. It is good. Same secondary, won't talk about that. And the skills, the ultimate is you pull out a shield and you get a different shotgun. The shotgun works, but it's a double-barreled shotgun. It's like you have to make sure you hit your shots or you're gonna be pretty vulnerable for some time. So in the smoke grenade, it's useful. Smokes are always useful in a game like this. If anything, I honestly think this should have been in Norman's loadout. I think he should get something that kind of every game has and it's just really easy to use. But either way, you've got the smoke. I don't know how I just did that. And the last thing you have is this reckless charge. Now, you have to make sure that the person isn't moving a lot, because if they're moving a lot, you're going to be looking really dumb running around the battlefield like this. So honestly, not a bad character. Doesn't really have much room for improvement aside from, I guess, tweaking the ultimate a little bit. And the primary, while it is good and it can work, the bullet speed is laughably slow. Dude, this is such a slow... The rounds Dude, I can almost count how long it takes for the rounds to reach the person I'm shooting. I don't know how I just killed him. So it really encourages you to be short range with that in mind. And also just the accuracy is bad enough that you have to be short range or you're not going to hit your shot. Next is Jack, the scout. Now, this is one of the two meta characters that I've noticed. At least in the lobbies, I've noticed this is one of the two characters that does the best all the time. So the first thing, the obvious thing, is the primary, the L90A1. If I'm not mistaken, headshots do deal extra damage, at least from what I've been able to test, very limited. But it's really, really, really hard to hit someone's head when you can hit their body as well. And this gun can do a lot of damage. It is a very high damage, slow rate of fire output gun. You have a great scope for sniping. This is where it gets kind of interesting though, because we'll start with this one, the Born Hunter. This isn't just thermal vision, okay? I think, oh my god, I can do this. This isn't just thermal vision because you can't just see them when they're exposed to you. They glow like thermals, but you can see when they go behind cover, you can still see them. It makes it a little bit difficult sometimes to judge when they're behind cover or not. It is a little bit difficult in that regard, but it's, again, really powerful. It will show you everyone that is near you. Then the armor-piercing projectile, I haven't been able to make good use of it, but it's pretty situational. The main thing that I want to point out is his ultimate. It's not just a small mortar strike, it is a large area with a lot of mortar missiles, I guess, coming down that do a lot of damage. This thing can do a lot of work. And when you see this marker, when you know it's going to come after you, you have to move because you're just going to get pummeled. Anyways, on to Marquez. I don't know why they're called expert here. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean, but this one is a skunk, if you couldn't tell. This is an agile character, as you can see here. Again, compact body, weird phrasing, but you get the idea. So you're able to move faster, you're more agile, and you have less health. I haven't noticed that decrease in health to be that bad. Like, it's not bad enough that it's like you have to really be on top of your movement or you're gonna die instantly. So the primary, I would prefer playing Marquez than the scout. Maybe it's just because I like being more in the action, but this, you have a scope and it is a semi-automatic silenced rifle. This thing has good accuracy, it has good rate of fire. It still has the weird going back to the center screen mechanic that's on all guns, but you're zoomed in enough that you can use it short range and you can use it medium long-ish range, and it can work really well. So onto the skills. The ultimate, this poison gas invasion, this is a purely area denial character. It's a very powerful thing. As the name suggests, it's like poison gas, so if you're in it, you take continuous damage. And it also kind of functions as smoke. You can see it's hard to see through it, so it also has that benefit as well. The better parts are the poison gas bomb, which is like a gas grenade, and the deadly trap. So these two, again, have the same idea behind them. This one, you launch a grenade, but it reloads quick enough that you can use it pretty frequently, and this can be great for area denial, like small, continuous area denial. If you just want to say, hey, I don't want you moving in from this position, or I want you to get out of this position that you are, you can do this, and within 20 seconds it recharges. Then the daily trap, it's a gas mine, so these are all gas based. This one, it's actually, the activation range is not directly on top of it, it's pretty large, so you can set it up at some corridor where you know people are going to go through. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does enough damage that it can really help you in some situations. And then next is Vladimir. Now, this one is another kind of tankish character. He's got explosion resistance. Again, slower movement speed, more health. And his primary is his RKP, which maybe it's just me, but I feel like this is just a better, was it KN47 or NK47? I haven't noticed it to be any worse recoil, despite it having a huge magazine, and the damage output's not as great, but the rate of fire is better, and the magazine is huge, so you can really spam this thing. The skills, you've got Rage, which you pull out this gigantic cannon. It does explosion damage and it leaves behind some flames, it's a pretty crazy ultimate. I think it's one of the better ultimates out there. But then you've got this basically incendiary grenade. This you can throw really far, like almost comically far. It's like you're the Hulk throwing something. And there is this aspect which it's kind of hard to put into use, but it is there. It's pretty cool that they implemented that. And the last one, which I think is the most notable, is this mobile stronghold. So you can set up this small shield wall thing, and you can also rearm on the back. You can see all those magazines. I haven't been able to really make use of this, but I feel like it can have a really good use case, especially if you're playing with other people. You can set this up and then they can really benefit from it. And lastly, but definitely not least, is the bunny. I'm not going to pronounce that kid. This is clearly the meta character. I think in order of meta, or how good the character is, it'd go this character, then this, then this. But that's just because of what I've noticed in the lobbies. I prefer to play this character over the scout, but that's just me. The primary, it's pretty good. It's very limited in range. It's a very fast rate of fire gun. And your secondary, you can't rely on for long range. So you're basically forced to run around and be close range. But this is a very fast character because you also have this jump boost. You have the movement speed. And while you do have less health, you are a healing class. And you have this thing. When you're attacked, the movement speed increases for a short period of time. The ultimate for this character is pretty good. I haven't been able to make great use of it a lot, but it can be really powerful because you can see here, when someone downed, you don't have to revive them yourself. You can just use the ability. And then you have what's called the anti-inflammatory drug, or basically a healing circle. You throw it down. It's got a pretty long range in terms of how you can throw it, so you can throw it to yourself or to your friendlies really easily. The only downside is a long deploy time. That's what I've noticed. If you pay attention to this health and also just the gameplay footage, you can revive yourself fast enough that you can kind of tank the rounds from the other players. Even though this is a light based class and you're not supposed to have much health, this ability on its own can make you have as much health as one of the tank characters. And the quick evasion, the property, again, this is why I don't understand why it's called property, but you can do a little barrel roll. It just helps with the movement. So there are some other things I've kind of mentioned here and there, but they're things that I would expect to be solved pretty quickly because this, again, alpha test, not final quality. It says it everywhere you look. I think it's drawn over top of everything. So, you know, the Unreal Engine's graphics, they can be a little weird, like the fur animations or physics, they're kind of janky. The AI narrators are distracting. I really think they should improve those, at least the ones in game. There are some translation issues. The call for help when you're down is pointless. I don't understand the point of it right now. But overall, those are just things that are super easy fixes, not really something I would pay attention to. So in conclusion, it is an alpha. There are a lot of things I have to say that are negative, but at the same time, it is an alpha because it is right now what's bad with the game. It shouldn't be what's bad in the future. So the main thing that I would pay attention to is what are the core gameplay mechanics that will make this game unique and worth playing over something else. Because, I mean, really what everyone sees is that you're playing anthropomorphic characters. You're playing animals that some of them look extremely uncomfortable. Premise is that, you know, it's an alternate world or whatever, and their abilities kind of reflect that. You know, it's most obvious with characters like this. But once you strip away that aspect, once you get away from the artistic decision, what makes this game unique? What is unique about these skills or the gameplay and stuff like that? If the fact that you're playing these anthro characters, if that's all that matters to you, then, I mean, go ahead, play the game. That's great, that you'll enjoy the game probably. You can give it a shot since it's free right now, but once it goes paid access, I would wait to make sure that the problems I mentioned earlier are fixed, because in my opinion, the gunplay is not as good as other, albeit paid and not in alpha FPS games in this genre. The movement and abilities are what would make me want to play it over something else, but the map could seriously benefit from being spread out because of the movement, and it can also make it more fun to snipe while still giving importance to the close fights. I don't think adding more classes is going to be an answer to fixing any of these things. I think they need to address the problem with, like, the map, the gameplay, the speed at which it plays. If this game gets some significant updates or overhauls, I'll probably make more videos about this. I'm looking forward to seeing where this game goes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. Hopefully it helped you. I'll see you in the next one.
Objective Bravo. We are currently leading in objective capture. Keep up the momentum.
Why is... Dude, this person looks like it's like a fucking glitch in the Matrix. Are they... Snipe Master, and I guess these are bots. These have... Oh shit, they're on. Oh shit. Get him! No! Snipe Master.